So now that your armor is all done and it securely fastens to your body, we're ready to start decorating, then we're going to prime and paint. You can see a lot of my pieces are already decorated just with layers of Worbla, but you don't have to only use Worbla to decorate your pieces. You can find other things to stick and glue on. You can mold out of the Worbla to make 3D pieces. You can also use little tubes of the 3D puffy paint. This is shirt paint. I find that it actually works quite well to give you a 3D effect, and you can just draw with it on your Worbla. Just don't ever limit yourself to stuff you can put on your armor. Okay, make sure you always take off all your ribbon before you start to paint, or else it's just gonna get horribly messy. Once you're satisfied decorating your pieces, we're gonna go ahead and prime them first before we paint them. Priming wise, you can do two things. You can use a spray primer, or you could use Gesso. It's normally 20 bucks. I always buy it with a 40 or 50% off coupon, so it's about 10 bucks, and this lasts me forever. Probably do 20 full sets of armor with this dupe. So I usually use a brush like this, or maybe one a little bigger. Just dip it right in and then paint over my stuff. Turns out looking like this. It does take a lot of time, because usually you have to do about 4 or 5 coats of the gesso and then sand it. Spray primer also works. This is what I use for my Harley Quinn mask. I buy it in this matte gray color just because it doesn't matter. I like these, the Rust-Oleum Painters Ultra Coverage ×2. I don't know, I feel like I'm painting twice as fast, I guess. So this is really, really quick and easy. A can of this costs about 4 bucks at the Home Depot. So it does work, but I think I go through 2 to 3 cans to finish one set of armor. So like 15 bucks for 3 cans of these to finish one set of armor, or 10 bucks for this to finish 20 coats of armor. So take your pick. So that's it for my priming introduction. Go ahead and prime all your pieces and sand them. Make sure when you sand them you are outside in a well-ventilated area, and try to wear a mask. I mean, it's not necessary when sanding, but you really don't want this stuff in your body. First off, I use the dremel to sand down any large bumps or deformities. And then every piece gets sanded down by hand. It's tedious work, but there's really no better way to do it, so just take your time and sand your piece down to your liking. Okay, so now I have everything sanded. You can see you don't need to sand a lot, you just gotta get it smooth. Once all your pieces are sanded to your desire, we're gonna go ahead and spray paint them with a base color. Most of my armor is pretty much gold, so I'm just gonna be spraying it with this metallic gold, which I love. It's super, super shiny. And you only really need 1 coat of your base color. So other than spray paint, I am using various other forms of paint to add to the depth of my costume armor. My main other weapon is Rub and Buff. The reason I like Rub and Buff is because this is the only product I can find that actually really looks like metal. This does get very messy because you always have to use your fingers to apply it. They say you can use a brush to apply it, but it doesn't work as well as your fingers. The heat and the friction from your skin actually allows this to set up a lot better than just a brush. So whenever I'm doing a dual paint like that, I always do the Rub and Buff first because it gets really messy and you can't really control it as well as you can an acrylic paint with a brush. So now I'm going to show you how to apply this Rub and Buff like I've done right here. You just need to get a little on your finger, and I just kind of dab it in polka dots down where I'm going to use it. All you do is just rub it into place. And the smoother the surface is, so the more you sand your Worbla, the better the Rub and Buff is going to look. You see, your skin gets very gold from this. It doesn't wipe off very easily, so actually I'm probably going to live with this for a day or two depending. But if I go over and touch this with a clean finger, it's really not that bad. I have a little bit of a shine on my finger, but it dries pretty quickly. And I can just go ahead and take a cloth, which I just cut up old t-shirts, and buff it out to make it as shiny as I want. So go ahead and get all your Rub and Buff details done first, and then we'll go in with the acrylic paint afterwards and finish up all the details. Now for the other pieces of my armor that I'm actually going to be painting a color, I'm going to be using acrylic paint. I use Liquitex. I use them because I paint, and I use this on canvas, so I just happen to have it. I do believe these are the more professional kind. So I'm just going to be painting, putting a dab on some plastic or something. And I'm using this little round brush. You could use flat brushes too. I don't know why I never liked flat brushes. I'm like a round brush type of person. And then I just start painting. I'm also a small brush type of person. Like, I could probably get like an inch wide brush and fill this up, but no! What if I mess up and have to do the rub and buff again? I'm like, nope, fill in the lines. I always colored in the lines as a child. I don't know why. I was just like, has to be perfect. So this could be considered a final piece. I mean, it has the gold, it has the red. This is the final colors, but look how boring it looks, right? Right? I'm so right. You're a superhero, right? I'm Hawkgirl, I'm Superman, I'm Batman. I don't know, but you go into battle every day, maybe more than once a day. You're gonna get some battle scars on your armor. It's gonna make it look real, it's gonna make it look interesting, it's gonna add that extra element to your armor, and you need it, okay? Yes, this could be done. You could stop here. You could have a full, perfect set of armor that looks like this. But come on now. How much better would this look battle scarred? But I'm gonna continue this in another tutorial about how to age and damage pieces. So please, please, please don't just stop here. Check out my other tutorial and let's battle damage these up. Did you know that red was more expensive than yellow even though it's the same size tube? That's because cadmium, the color that's made to use red, is more expensive than the color that's made to use yellow. You learned something today.